What if a completely innocent person became the center of a shocking case, simply because of ruthless calculations that were set in motion long ago? Moira Dingle's story in Emmerdale right now is proof that fate can be twisted with just a few vicious moves. Recently, Moira has been pulled into a spiral of crisis after 2 bodies were discovered on her land. The most painful part is that she had absolutely nothing to do with those deaths. And yet, cruelly, every piece of evidence seems to be pointing straight at her. Behind it all is Ray Walters, the man running a human trafficking operation in the shadows with Celia Daniels. Their scheme wasn't just about making dirty money. It dragged the whole village into tragedy. April Windsor and Dylan Penders were forced into dealing drugs, while Beowulf was held captive and made to work like a tool. What's terrifying here isn't only the crime itself, but the way Ray and Celia manipulate people, turning fear into a chain that keeps everyone trapped. The real turning point came when Ray's cruelty led to the death of Anya, one of his unpaid workers. Bear, despite being abused and controlled, still held on to a final shred of humanity and insisted she deserved a proper burial. They secretly buried Anya at the far edge of Moira's field, an act that unintentionally pushed Moira toward a legal nightmare later on. As the whole operation started to fall apart, Ray had a moment of hesitation. His relationship with Laurel Thomas gave him a first taste of what life could look like without crime. Psychologically, that's what makes him interesting. Ray isn't completely incapable of change, but his inner conflict isn't strong enough to save him. In the end, instead of making things right, he turned on Celia and killed her to cover his tracks. It's the choice of someone who has spent his life using violence as his easiest solution. But Celia wasn't the type to be backed into a corner without a plan. Before she died, she had already prepared an escape route, or more accurately, the perfect trap. When Moira had items waiting to be donated, Celia offered to take them. And once she got access to Moira's belongings, she used one of Moira's blankets to wrap Anya's body. A small detail, yet powerful enough to make Moira the prime suspect. That's Celia's kind of mind, always thinking several moves ahead, leaving consequences behind even after death. And it still didn't end there. Joe Tate, driven by ambition to take the farmland with Kim Tate, decided to play dirty. After finding Celia's fake documents, he didn't go to the police. He used them as leverage. He even exploited an old secret involving Victoria and John Sugden to force Robert Sugden into planting incriminating documents on Moira's land. This is classic power psychology. Once someone tastes control, manipulating others starts to feel normal, almost justified. Now Moira is practically backed into a corner. Physical evidence, land disputes, suspicious circumstances, everything is stacked against her. But in the middle of all this darkness, an unexpected figure could become the key. Graham Foster. Graham's return after faking his death for 6 years was already a major shock. His relationship with Kim is icy because of their calculated past. She once wanted him eliminated. But what matters now is Graham's stance toward Joe. He's warned Joe more than once that the power he holds could destroy him. It doesn't sound like casual advice. It feels like a warning from someone who has walked through the dark and knows exactly where it leads. Graham's mindset is complicated. He has an emotional bond with Joe, almost like a father figure. Yet he can't accept the way Joe operates. If Graham truly feels for Cain and the family, especially after learning about Cain's cancer diagnosis, then saving Moira wouldn't just be the right thing to do. It could also be Graham's way of reclaiming something he lost, a chance to make peace with parts of his own past. My personal view is this: if anyone can break this deadlock, it has to be someone who isn't shackled by ambition anymore. Joe acts for power, Kim acts for gain, Ray acts on survival instincts. But Graham? He might be the only one left who can act on principle. So the question is, will he step forward and expose the truth, even if it ruins Kim's plan and brings Joe down? Or will he stay silent and keep watching from the sidelines? One thing is certain: if Moira isn't cleared soon, her family's world will collapse completely. And maybe, in that decisive moment, we'll finally see who the strongest person truly is, not the one holding power, but the one brave enough to use it to protect what's right.